But she can't have it both ways, can she,
Exactly.
Suella Braverman, the Home Secretary? Because for a long time, she has been saying, as did Priti Patel, her predecessor, this is all part of deterring people from coming over on the small boats, risking their lives, because if they don't get to stay in the UK and if they're sent to Rwanda, that will stop them coming over because that'll be such a deterrent. And now suddenly she's there like a Rwanda tourism expert, like sort of, a place in the sun presenter saying, look at this wonderful place, you too could come to Rwanda. It's a beautiful country and anybody who criticises it is a snob. And I just think that doesn't wash. There is absolutely no evidence that it has been a deterrent. Mm-hmm. And I do understand that she's now saying this isn't a dangerous country, this isn't a sort of death sentence by sending people to Rwanda. But she is trying to have her cake and eat it.
It's not surprising it hasn't been a deterrent because not a single migrant has been sent there so far. If they do start sending them there, it may prove to be a deterrent because it doesn't matter how lovely it is there, and it does look like quite a nice place, and I hear good things. That wasn't what the migrants were planning. They were coming to Britain, so if they get sent to East Africa, it could act as a deterrent. But I do get your point. I mean, it still does seem to be a bit of a long shot, this plan.
I mean, at most, they can have 1,000. That's what...
Thousands?
No, 1,000
1,000.
over the 5-year trial, 1,000 is how many they can have, not including the deal that says we should also take vulnerable refugees from Rwanda back to the UK. So we're going to do a swap deal with them. That is not going to be a deterrence for anyone coming across to this country on a small boat.
Yeah, 200 a year compared to how many thousands we've got in hotels, costing millions a day.
And the other aspect of this was that the original plan, as I understood it, was that the people who were sent to Rwanda, it wasn't a sort of offer of you can spend the rest of your lives here. It was while their applications were processed. At the end of that, they could make the choice to try to get back to Britain, go to wherever they're from, or stay in Rwanda. It was never a kind of, this is your new life.
The problem is that if you take it from the other side, which is these are people who are, so they're either, and as we know, quite a lot of them actually do get accepted after, 85 years or whatever of having their things processed. But they're coming to here because where they are is unsafe. They're coming to a democracy where things work, where things are sort of, and they're looking for Europe. They're not looking for anywhere else, are they?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not about going, Rwanda's beautiful, and yes, it is. My goodness, if they've got gorillas, and it's lovely, and you can go trekking.
But this
So it will be a deterrent.
But this is the point.
No, exactly.
This plan, it's madness. It's not snobbery. It's madness.
It's just,
And it's window dressing. Because, as you say, JJ, 1,000 people, we've got 45,700 reported to have come on boats. So this isn't just the number that we've got. We've got probably another 450,000 coming through legitimate routes coming into the country. 7 or 8 out of 10 of the people who actually put in for asylum actually achieve their asylum goal. So why wouldn't they give it a go? And you've got a Home Secretary who can't make up her mind between is this a deterrent or are we maligning Rwanda, which may or may not be a beautiful country. They're not coming, as you say, for this reason. And this is the point, that the government is trying to smokescreen away from the real issue. And the real issue is the Home Office is not fit for purpose. We are spending £6 million a day putting people in hotels who should not be in hotels. We have a system that is not processing people. And if we were to do what Labour want to do, which is to process faster, we'll just end up with more people coming to the country because we've never sorted out what are the rules, what are the entry criteria, how are we going to judge people, how are we going to be humanitarian, and then also, how are we going to keep track of people when they do come to this country?
And what about, and also, what about the services? That you see, that's the other thing, and that's why people get so annoyed, is because if you do have a whole load of immigration in one particular area, and let's face it, we're all tribal. Brits go abroad, they don't go to some far-flung place, they go to places where other Brits are, and you can understand why. And so you've got to actually sort of sort out the infrastructure as well. I mean, so many things have got to be sorted at the same time. And meanwhile, they've got one eye to the next election.
I am worried, definitely about the election, but I'm worried about the country now because we're kind of split. The latest YouGov poll, I think, was 44% of people are for the Rwanda plan and 40% are against it, and the remainder just don't really care.
Don't know.
But this is don't know. But what this is doing is it is sowing division amongst the country and polarising people again, which just makes us all then argue and hate each other more about it.
A bit like Gary Lineker. You name the issue, we'll get split and angry about it. That's the way it is. But you mentioned about how many people's applications end up being successful. We've got to do something about this because, for example, Albanians, who are, of course, not fleeing war, not fleeing torture,
But most
not
of
from
those
their
go
own
back.
country or from France, 55% of their applications for asylum get accepted. In France, it's something like 2%, Germany 0%, and so on and so forth. We
But
are
most
far
of
too
the
lax letting people
But
in.
Kevin, most of the Albanians who get accepted are female. They're not male. So you can see why there is
Well,
a
that's
big
sexist
there
then,
is
isn't it?
there is a big difference. No, because they are considered to be higher risk, more vulnerable, and so on.
Sexist.
And probably
Sexist classification.
It probably is. People are probably saying, "Oh, she's a lovely lady. She won't be an Albanian criminal."
She's a lady. She wouldn't be a criminal.
You could be male or female or criminal, but this is the point,
Hold
though,
on a
which
second,
is
you're
there is
forgetting the other genders.
Indeed. But there is a lack of
73
clarity.
other genders.
There is a lack of clarity over what we want to do on a humanitarian basis.
Yeah.
There is a lack of clarity and planning in terms of, Penny, as you say, making sure that we are providing the infrastructure. But then also, there's a lack of clarity with the messaging to the British people so that people are actually on side. We don't and shouldn't be split about this. If it wasn't for immigration, some people might say, oh, good, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
so, as you know, as a result of that. So, immigration is fundamentally a good thing and a healthy thing, but it has to be managed, has to be controlled. And if they come and find you, if you've not paid your parking ticket, they can blooming well come and find you if you're here illegally. Oh, no, they can't.
Well, I know
Is
that's
it
one of the
that
reasons
healthy if we got 70 million people here and we learned last week that 1.5 more million will be coming over the next 5 years? I mean, infrastructure is creaking at the seams. This country's kind of full,
Yeah, but
isn't it?
the budget last week, the silver lining, which meant that the Chancellor had more money to play with, was because of immigration, was because their predictions is for higher immigration, which will bring more money in. So, you're right. When it comes to politics, the Labour Party has nothing to say on this issue because they're so scared of frightening the horses by actually coming out with a policy. But